hearing about Astra actually at my high school. Like, one of my clubs emailed out, they were like, oh, there's like this summit in November, and it's like on a Wednesday and Thursday, and I heard like Wednesday, Thursday, skipping school, like perfect. No, don't skip school, it's actually good, it's in the summer for you guys, but I didn't know that going to Astra would actually like change my life so much, and though it's been 2 years, like a lot has happened, and a lot of it is due to coming here and meeting the people here. And I guess this is a photo from 2 years ago, and you can see me and Diane, Suzanne, and Deborah up there. And that was actually my team down there, and we competed. And I guess like since then, one of the biggest things that I guess happened to me wasn't the change in my hairstyle. It was, I guess, the change in the way I go like around meeting people and staying in touch with them. And I guess like I became less shy or like more willing to go out of my way to talk to people. And I had never been to any type of like business conference before or like presented any like idea I had in front of a panel of judges, but like coming here and being forced to do that, I guess, or like having the opportunity to do that really helped me, and I guess got me further than I could have done on my own. And I guess to like show you guys something, like this was something I made during my year of Astra. I can show you the video, but there's no sound, but this is what I made coming home after that first day. I was like, I really want to do something for a project, and yeah, I spent like 3 hours just sitting there like making animation for our project, and I guess it's like a really fun thing to do, and maybe it'll give you guys some ideas, but this is what I did for our project, and yeah, it was called Zip. But a little bit more about me. I went to Golden Gate. I don't know if some of you guys went there too, but yeah, this is one of my photos from back then. And growing up, I really liked to play Pokemon. I played it every day, and like Pokemon Go. Like yesterday, I went on a 7-mile run just to get myself from like level 1 to level 5, and I caught like a lot of Pokemon on the way. But yeah, I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer for a long time, and like Super Smash Bros. Was my first game, I think, and I played Neopets for a really long time. I had, I think, 13 accounts because I really wanted to be good at it. But yeah, that's how I started, and I guess I've always been interested in games and playing them, but I never really thought anything of it. It was just something that I guess I was good at and I like doing in my free time. And like I said, I played a lot of Neopets, and there's like this thing on Neopets where you can submit comics, and a lot of the people I looked up to, they made comics that are like really good, and I was like, I should try doing something like this. So I submitted my own comics, and these are like some of the things I made, I think 7 years ago now. But yeah, I thought they were funny back then, and I guess I don't know if they're still funny now, but I was pretty proud of it, and it was the first time I really had to put myself out there and like post content online. And it was scary at first, but I was like, even if my art like isn't as good as other people, I can still put stuff out there, and it might make somebody laugh. And a lot of the people I looked up to also used an account, like an art site called deviantart.com, and it's like where you can post art online. It's like an art community, and I got an account, and I kind of just like put up stuff. And this was like when I first started. This was like the first month of what I did, and I just drew stuff. Most of it's like Neopets and fan art, and I just did that every single day, and I really loved drawing. I thought I'd be an artist when I grew up, so I was like, DeviantArt's like where I'm going to be for a long time. And in 2010, which is 6 years ago, my dad gave me a program called Adobe Flash, and I was like, oh, like animation's really cool, so I took my drawings, made them come live using animations. These are some of my first animations, and the bottom one, like on the bottom right, is my birthday card I made for a friend. And I guess like it was really exciting to learn about animation, since it's not just like on paper, and it's like actually like on a computer and really close to, I guess, like if it was to do when I grow up. And I was like, oh, I can animate now? I'm going to work at Disney or something. But yeah, then I actually learned that in Flash, you could make like buttons, and I really needed a play button for a game, and when I realized that like that was code, like I didn't even know what it was, I just copied and pasted it in. Like when I learned that that could work and I could actually make games with it, I made my first game, which is called Actual Pokeball, and basically just click on a Pokeball, and if you hit it, you won. And I had 10 different levels, and this was my first game, and I didn't think too much of it. I was like, people are playing this, they said it's too hard, but I like it. And from then on, I learned like new code every day. I would go on like Google, go how do I make something more secure? How do I type things and make it appear like on the screen? And every day when I learned something new, I would make a new game. So, well, like every other day. So I would go home after school, like look up something like I really want to make a game like where you can like hit targets, and like I want to learn how to like make animations and click on something. So I would search that up, like make a game, and like post it on my DeviantArt account and be like, hope you guys like it, like let me know how it is. And I did that almost like every other day for a couple of years, and yeah, then in high school I continued doing that, and I participated in a program called Cosmos, and I'm sure some of you guys have heard about that, and I really recommend it for people in high school. And I attended the game design class through there, and there you can make a game with other people. So it was the first game I worked on with other people, and it was called Wicked. It's like the middle, and that was a lot of fun. And I also got to design the cover, which was pretty cool. And I also participated in Tech Innovation at my school, which is like similar to this, where you make an athle and present it. But back then, we had like a month to do it, and you guys only had 2 days, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, that was high school, and I also took a job at APCS, if you guys are like looking into CS, and at the end of Java, I made a game called Page Changer. It was a final project, and in APCS, just giving computer science, we got to recreate lots of games like 148, and that's like the thing like bottom corner. But, yeah, it was really cool to, I guess, like, be able to recreate games that you like see on app stores, like just like on your own computer. That was really cool. And here are just some of the projects I used. They're all Adobe, but if you're interested in like art or anything, or sound or games, these are like some of the ones I use. Yeah. Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, okay. I'll talk from here now. But yeah, these are just some of the programs I use, and they're all Adobe. And yeah, if you're interested in games or drawing or anything, you can download some of these. And yeah, so in high school I continued to make games, as I said, and these are like some of the screenshots of some of the games I made. Most of them are Pokemon, but I was like really passionate about playing Pokemon and making games for it. I was like pretty excited about that too. And since it does have like a big user base, like being able to like appeal to that audience, I guess like gave me like an audience to play my games too, and that really helped motivate me, I guess, in my game making process. And I guess in 2015 I had 40 games out by then, and yeah, these are just like 5 of the games that I made. And yeah, now I have 50 games out, and here are the 7 I have on the mobile app stores. Yeah, the top one is Android and the bottom one is Apple. And yeah, these 7 games are what I've worked on in the last 2 years. And I guess like the types of games I make are like kind of like weird, unique, I guess like some are creepy, but it's been a lot of fun making them. And mobile apps are like where I spend like most of my time, and it's been really rewarding. Yeah, and I guess like now I'll talk more about like if you're interested in games, or just like an example of a game I've made, and I guess like the process I went through in making it. So yeah, so you want to make a game, and like I guess like to start off you would come up with an idea, and this is kind of like where you're like, I don't even know what's like going on, but I want to make something. So last last year I had an idea to make a game that was kind of like for younger audience, but is like kind of fun to play with, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to like mix and match parts. And there's a game called Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's like a really creepy like horror game, and I really liked it, and I thought that I would make something kind of similar, but like more for like people to create things with. So I just like created a character, and I like spread out the parts, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this, but I'm gonna make a game. And the second step is like getting something made, getting it out there, like making a prototype. And this is what I did with this game. And you can see that there's like different categories where you can like click on things. So it's like head, body, you can like change it. And this was like the first prototype I ever made. And there was no code, it was just like out there, and the design was there. And it was a lot of fun to make, but it didn't really do anything. And that's where it comes to like the next step, which is like making it look nicer, like making it look like something that could actually be like playable. And this is what it is here. At that point, I had put in some code, but it was like very like basic. It didn't do too much, and like you have to like keep going and like add. Like I added new features to it, and this game, it would like when I coded it all, it was a jump scare builder. You like mix and match parts, and it builds like a custom like robotic animal, and when you hit play, it'll like jump out at you and make a jump scare, which is pretty fun to like show friends, because they would kind of see it and be like, oh, it's like a pretty cute robot, like I wonder what happens when you hit play. And they hit play and it like jumps out and like screams at you. And at first I thought like it'd be really scary for like younger kids, but turns out like that was the audience that loved it the most. Like 5 to 8 year olds, they were like my target audience apparently. And I was like, oh, like 15-year-olds, like 16-year-olds will like it, but no, these 8-year-olds, they're like, I love this. I showed it to my 5-year-old sibling, and she like fell off her chair. And that's like the surprising part and like the exciting part about game development too. It's like you don't know who will like your game until you test it. Like you can have an idea in your head, like, but like when you try to like implement it, you see like there's surprising results. Like you can never predict anything. And I guess like another part about game design is that you can never give up. Like I think like that's like the picture of my development environment in Flash, and there's like code on the left side, and that's like what it looks like on the right side. And it took a lot of work. It was, I guess, like a solid like 2 months of work, just like coming home every day after school, like sitting there for like hours and working. But I think it was pretty worth it. And another important part, and I guess like something you guys can do, like when you get home, you can post on accounts like DeviantArt, like Newgrounds, Congregate, GameJolt, and for mobile you can post on Apple, Google Play, Amazon, and like Windows. Like all these are like free, like they're all like available for you all, and it's very easy to post. Like don't be shy, just like put stuff out there. Like you saw my first game, it wasn't very good, but I just put it out there, and that's like the first step to making anything happen. So this is actually like screenshots of my game on 3 of those platforms. Like the bottom is Newgrounds, the left is like DeviantArt, and the right is the Android store. And putting it on the most like sites is very important because it does like increase your like visibility, and that's pretty important because like the right person could see it, and a lot of cool stuff can happen when that happens. And step 6 is definitely profit, right? But no, it's actually not that easy. Actually, there's like something that happened in my game that is actually pretty interesting, and I'll talk more about it. But this is like one of the features I had in my game, and I can show you. Well, this isn't a video, but it's a screenshot. I like put out this game on the app stores, and a week later, or like 2 weeks later, I was like reading reviews, and people were talking about like this mysterious purple guy that would like come out and like just stay there. Like they would hit back and he'd come back. They'd quit the app, it'd come back. It was like, it like didn't even let them switch anymore. They're like, what's this like, is it like haunting me? Like I'm so scared. And they make like videos of it. And I was like really busy with like school, and I wasn't checking anything. And when I read those reviews, I was like, oh, they're like really scared of like the purple guy feature I made. Because the feature I wanted to make was you make this purple character, it jumps out at you, and then you hit back, and then it's all normal again. But when I was reading, I was like, there's like something wrong, like I don't know what's going on. So then I like watched these videos, and in their videos, like it was actually like staying there, like they couldn't exit, like they quit and it was still there. And I was so confused, but it was like affecting like a couple like thousand people, and I was like, it was the first time I ever had like a major bug in my game, because I was so used to like putting games out, like people would play it, they wouldn't say anything's wrong, and I'd be like, oh cool, like game development's easy. But yeah, when this happened, I had to like go back into my code, and really quickly too, because I didn't want to affect more users, because they couldn't play the game anymore, like it was stuck, like it was literally haunted. And so when I looked at my code, there's actually like something that set like a certain like body part to like 0 or like a negative number, and that like messed with the entire thing. And since I saved like the value after you hit play, like every time they quit, it would just reload that saved value every single time, and that'd be like, that would set to like this purple guy. And like when I figured it out, it was actually really cool, but then I had to figure out how to like save all these users, like because they lost all their save data if I would like try to like add an update. But I knew I had to fix it, and I knew I had to fix it in a way that it wouldn't ever happen again. So I had to go in there, and I guess like after a couple like days of like very like intensive like bug fixing, I was able to like make I guess like a 2D array for some of these people who know CS, and it kind of made it like easy for me to, it made it like easy so then if like one of the values was bad, like the whole thing wouldn't like mess up. So that really helped me, and also made it easier for me to add new parts later on, because before I just had like a linear thing where like if one thing goes wrong, like everything after it goes wrong. But that also taught me a lot about CS, and I guess like how to make a game that doesn't like haunt people. But yeah, after I released that update, they're like, oh, it's finally gone. Like I didn't know that wasn't a feature, because they thought like when you hit that, it's like supposed to be like that. But yeah, that was like the time I messed up pretty big, but it also taught me a lot about thoroughly testing my game. And I guess the step after this is like where I find like the most enjoyment, which is like when you see people actually play your game, and that's the part that I love the most about creating games, because like the purpose of games is to make them for other people, and the point of games is to let people have fun. Like people don't play games because they have to, they play it because they want to have fun, and when you can see these people having fun, like playing your game, that's like the part I love the most. So these are like some videos I found on YouTube of people playing my game. Like I didn't know they existed until my brother told me. I found them on YouTube, and it was really cool. Like that top right, I think it was like posted like a couple hours after my game came out. I don't even know how he found it, but he's just like playing it. It's like an 8-year-old boy, and he's like super excited to play it. And he was like trying to be like one of those YouTube like Let's Play videos. He's like, oh, like now I'm gonna show you guys like how you get like the purple guy. And he's like, I'm gonna show you guys all the secret Easter eggs of this game. Like let me like walk you through all the features. And I was like, oh, like he's so cute. And like also like I can't believe they're playing my game. Like this isn't real. And like a couple of videos like popped up after that, and they just kept coming. And I was like, why are people even playing my game? But yeah, it was like unreal, and it was definitely a feeling I can like never forget. And the best part about game development, and I guess like I also was able to see my games appear on like the top charts, and that was like pretty unreal. Like that's the top new games, and it was number 18, and in top free games it was number 7. So like I was just like looking around, and for some reason my game was like there. I was like, why is it there? But it was pretty amazing. Like as of now, the game has I think like 1.7 million downloads, and it was pretty crazy because it was one of my first mobile games, and I didn't know that something like this could happen to me who was just like in high school and still like learning like about like what computer science really is. Like I thought this only happened to like companies like EA who have like Sims and like these huge games, but this can really happen to anyone, and it really inspired me to keep like doing game development. And one funny thing is that this is like going back to like my first Astra, but that was where I got my first business card. Oh, yeah, that was where I got my first business card, and those are my first 6 business cards ever. It was Kate, like Deborah, and some of the other speakers, and that was my first business card on the right. It was good to make business cards. So I brought those, and yeah, that was my first business cards ever, and it's really interesting to see how far, I guess, like my business card stack has grown since then. And when I went to the game development conference this year, like I got like that huge stack, and like compared to what I had after Astra, like it's been a lot more cards, like the Leaning Tower of cards. And it's actually pretty cool to see like how much more willing I am to like go out of my way and talk to people and like get all those business cards. And it just like, I guess like a visual representation of what like staying in touch with people and like talking to people can do for you. And it's also pretty funny to see like how much my business card has changed, because like that's my new one on the right there. And it's no longer on printer paper anymore. But yeah, and here are just some of the places I've been after coming to Astra, and some of the places you guys can go to. Like on the left is that picture of me and Kate, as Deborah was talking about, and that's us at the IGDA GDC booth, and the IGDA is an International Game Developer Association, and actually I was like staying in touch with Kate after Astra was happening, and she told me about this program that was like for women in games, and she told me to apply for it, and I didn't think anything of it, but when I applied, I got in, and I took a week off of school to go there, and it was like one of the best experiences of my life, because I got to finally, I guess, like meet up with Kate after last seeing her at Astra. We were able to like catch up, and I was also able to meet other people who are interested in game development, and I went with a group of other women, and it was just like so inspiring to see like everyone around me like game developers, and just like learning what they do and how I can be like them. And that was just one of the really cool opportunities I had, and I would definitely recommend it for anyone like interested in seeing what game development is like. And in the middle there is the time I went to the White House to present my game, and it was part of a program called the ESA Video Game Innovators Fellowship, and I would encourage you guys to apply. I think it's open to people like ages 13 to 22, and I just applied for it, and they basically just pay for your entire like accommodation, and also for you also get like $1,000 grant to work on like a game and present it at the White House. So I went with a group of 20 people, and it was really cool because even though I didn't get to see Obama, I got to see a portrait of him on the wall. And I also got to, I guess, like present my app to the Department of Energy. It was an education game that was teaching people how to recycle trash and put them in the right bins. And it was just like a small idea, and I didn't know I'd be presenting it to the Department of Energy. And when they were like, oh, like I really like this idea, like you should implement it, it was like a super great feeling. And yeah, another great part about, I guess, like going into games and also just like putting yourself out there. And on the right here is like a photo of me and my supervisor at Sony, and we had like this launch party for Lego Star Wars, and we all got like bags there. And being at Sony is like another one of the opportunities I got after learning how to like talk to people and going up to recruiters and being like, oh, like I'm Jenny, like give me a job. Yeah, just like learning you just have to learn how to like market yourself too. That's very important. And you guys are all here, so you guys are all like obviously very smart, and doing things like this is what you get after like putting yourself out there. And yeah, personally, since I was very shy when I was growing up, this is like a pretty big step for me, and you guys will definitely be successful too. Well, like more successful than me probably. And down in the bottom left is a picture of me demoing my game at GDC, and on the right here is an externship I did, which is like a 1-month internship that I did at EA this winter as part of like an MIT program. But I know that a lot of other schools also have like winter programs like to let you work at companies, and it was also really cool to be able to meet people in game development and just like work on a game. Like I was able to work on NFL Madden 18 there, and that was really cool because it's not even coming out until like 2 years later. But I was able to be there, like see the people who work on it, like interact with them, like get to know what they do, and yeah. And I guess like I also have some tips from anyone, like just like in general too, which is you guys gotta like repeat your missions or like grind and like stay in contact with people who you meet here. Like that's gonna be one of the most valuable things you do. Like I stayed in contact with Deborah, like with Kate, with Diane, with Suzanne, like everyone I meet, I try to like let them know how I'm doing, and like a lot of like opportunities come out from that and you don't even realize it. Like I didn't even know that they would invite me back to speak, but like when I did, it was like, I jumped at it. I was like, of course they'll come back. But yeah, that's like a really important thing. And also just like, you have to play in hard mode all the time. You can't like play in the easy mode, because that's like when you really put yourself out of your comfort zone and you learn more about yourself and like more about like what your potential can be. And I remember at my first Astra, I was just sitting around. I was kind of like awkward around like Deborah and like Kate. I was like, I really want to talk to them, but like I don't want to be creepy. But I ended up being kind of creepy because I like stalked them. Like I was like following them. I was like, I have to talk to them, but like I don't know when I can. Like when is it acceptable? So I followed them around. It was lunchtime. I stood behind their table for like 1 minute, like trying to decide what to do. Design, and it was really amazing, and I didn't know that could happen, but it came out of like my decision to like actually get to talk to them. And that's why I think you guys should all go out of your comfort zones, like get to know people, like stay in touch with them, and that way you can expand your party, like get to know more people. Friends are pretty great to have, and yeah, just like make friends. Like the people here, they're gonna be like the future of like the world, and you get to know them now, so like stay in touch, and it might do some great things for you later. And all the while, like have fun, like enjoy it. Like these are like 2 days you can have, but it's gonna be like, it's gonna change a lot of things for you if you make the most out of it. And it changed a lot for me. Like as a game developer, I didn't know, like I wanted to go into games, I didn't know how I could do it. I came here, I met people who did the same thing as me and were willing to guide me. And even though not all of you guys are game developers, you'll be able to meet people here who will be able to support you and help you. And it never hurts to ask either. Like you can be like, oh, like, can you help me like can you introduce me to somebody who likes X? And because like everyone like pretty much knows each other, like the sixth connection thing, or like your friend knows like a friend, like who knows a friend, like you'll definitely be able to find somebody who can help you, and here is like the best place. And yeah, thanks for listening. If you guys are interested in like contacting me, my email's up there, my website is there too, and you can also play my games at that link. And if you ever want to play your own games or like ask me more about it, you can email me. And here are just some of like the game development resources that we have. And yeah, I would recommend Flash, but Unity is pretty big these days too for making games. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can ask them now, I guess. Yeah.
I don't want to stop. Most programmers have a really hard time not iterating too much and just keep going. How do you decide when you're done enough to publish and to not keep working with it?
Well, I usually give myself a deadline. I'm like, I'll just keep making a game until like this date, or I just usually like set a deadline. I'm like, I'm gonna finish by this day, and that really motivates me to keep going because I really want to like put out things. I don't want to wait. Like I know a lot of people I talked to at GDC, they never actually like put out a game, and their problem was that they were afraid to put it out. It wasn't good enough. They wanted to keep going, but if you set a deadline for yourself and get it out, that's like pretty important because you're like committed to a day. And sometimes like just like sometimes it's like a limit. It's like good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's like an important thing to learn too. Yeah. I just find that like limiting distractions is pretty important. Like I'm pretty swamped at school, but like finding time, like putting aside time, like being like, oh, like every Wednesday I'm gonna work like 2 hours on my game, or like today I'm gonna like not do any like social media. I'm gonna like sit there, use that hour I could have spent like talking to people, like working on something. And having that deadline is also pretty important because like you learn to like prioritize things, and if like a deadline is coming up, you like put it first. So I just put like games up there on like my priority list, and it's worked out for me so far. And even though I get busier, like games are like my passion, and it's like high up there for me, so I'll make time for it, just like I make time for school and classes and like track and field and clubs. Yeah.
What's your favorite part about it?
I think my favorite part is like seeing people play it, because that's like the, I guess like the culmination of what you've done. But like if you're talking about like the part of game design or like game development, I really like, I actually really like drawing and animating, because like you get to see what it'll look like, and like making it move is like after that. And I really like seeing like things come to life and like up there on this, like on the game, and that's my favorite part. Also because I always wanted to be like an artist, so that's why it's like the most exciting part for me. But yeah. Oh no, I just like to do all the art and drawing because I did have like an art background, but there are people who do like only like art or only like sound, only like game design or only like writing, and like any part, like you can specialize in any part and go into the game industry with that. You don't have to do everything. Like you can have a team. Like you could be the one writing the story, and you can have a team of like artists with you, like who help you, and it's not always like a solo thing. Yeah. The best part about game design and like development is that there's so many roles. Like I talked about like me doing everything, but there are like so many different things you can do. You can do like sound design, you can do like development only, you could do like art only, and I just love every part of it, which is why I do all of it, but you definitely don't have to do all of it. Yeah.
Do you have to copyright your games before you release them on the App Store?
Well, I don't, but like if you want to, you can. I just think that like with all these games coming out, like there's really like no point, and if somebody copies you, just like do better than them. It's not worth the effort. I've read that somewhere, and they just say that like people are going to like copy ideas, but that's like what makes everything better. Like you micro innovate on other people's ideas, or you like come up with your own and they like micro innovate on yours. That's like how better games are made every day. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm creating a game right now. Well, I'm actually making an update to that jump scare one I was talking about, because the UI has been pretty old and I haven't updated it in a year. And I'm also working on a game right now with Congregate, and just making, it was like part of a Launchpad program that I found at GDC, and I just talked to them, and now they're like helping me develop a game and giving me like support, and it's gonna be like a murder mystery type of game, and that's like pretty exciting. And I'm also planning, I guess like some sort of bullet hell like action game too for this summer, and yeah.
Thank you for all the things that you've done. What a leader you've become. And you know what? Where are we today? What building are we? Do you think they might be interested in your cleaning trash?
Oh.
We're anxious to show that to the executives here at PGD, because they're all about recycling. In fact, we had to
Open up your bag and you'll find a sample of it, right?
Yeah, our trash big.
How about that?
This looks like something from my game. Well,
So, David Pell gave us all a lecture yesterday when we were getting ready to have our lunch about how to recycle. So we've got all those bins and data. So you know what, you're talking to an audience who really appreciates what you're doing. And thank you so much for what you're doing in the leadership. We're so proud of you. Now I'd like to invite David